You have a big personality. I couldn't wait to meet you because just from the phone, I was like, I can't wait to meet this guy. You guys were just sitting around and
Yeah,
they
we
got a
were
phone
just
call.
there sitting around. It was a phone call.
And it was a Rolling Stones.
Yeah. I'm going to be walking the steps where he walked. I don't want to be a Flaco. I'll never be a Flaco. I'm not here to fit in those shoes of that man.
He was afraid that his name would be
Yeah,
forgotten.
he was going to be forgotten.
But that's how you become a legend.
Yeah, he was.
You have to be a
yes, he was a
perfectionist.
perfectionist. Told him that I loved him and that I was going to keep a promise.
Gill Jimenez, it is wonderful to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
I haven't seen you since your father's passing, so I do want to start out by saying I know that you had already mentioned this was going to be a very emotional interview, and I'm very sorry for your loss. It's always very difficult losing a parent.
No, thank you, Sarah. Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. It's been a tough journey for me without him, but I'm hanging tight,
Your father, I mean, there are musicians and then there are cultural icons. Mm-hmm. Your father was a cultural symbol internationally. He was able to take conjunto, norteño, music that is very deeply rooted in South Texas and in Mexican-American working families and take it and internationalize it and work with legends, and he became a legend himself.
Exactly. Sarah, you see, my dad didn't really know what exactly where he was headed, because or his how can I put it, how big he was gonna go, because he was just a regular musician, and growing up there in the West Side, just humble family, but as years went by, pues. He a lot of people started contacting him due to his way of playing his squeeze box. You know what I mean? And they were people were like you said, legends were approaching him, and just he was like I didn't even know where I was gonna where I'm headed. In other words, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you come from a big family, right?
Yes, I do.
8 kids.
8. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so what was that like for you? Because you ended up being a musician yourself, but your father also came from a family of legends before him. His father was a pioneer as well.
Exactly. Well, my great grandfather, Sarah, I never met him, because he comes out in history books, and you see, but I heard a lot about him, so it's like a family tree, sort of say, because, and then from there, well, I got to meet my grandfather, which was Patricio Jimenez's son. That's my dad's father. So it was Patricio, and then my grandfather, my dad, and then my uncle Santiago. But as far as Flaco's sons, I had to tackle this on my own. So
and they all played the accordion?
Yes, they all played the accordions. Mm-hmm.
Why the accordion? How big of a part of the culture is that?
Well, that and the accordion, being that it's based on, it came like from, I believe, Germany. The Germans and all that. So there's got to be sometimes I wonder, where Patricio's father, So it just comes to me like, okay, Patricio's father may have been involved in the music scene as well. You see, but the accordion, it just came to become part of the Jimenez's family tree. You know what I mean?
You grew up with that accordion since you were born, right? That sound in the house.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like as a child? And your father was he already famous at that point?
He was already getting known and everything. I know that got to be known because of his way of playing the squeeze box, right? But I remember one time, maybe that's what, sometimes I ask myself that same question. I wonder why I had to, because I didn't have no choice but to learn on my own, right? Because I asked him one time, I said that one of these days I want to be like you, right? And then, I still remember, Sarah, to this day, the words that he told me. He goes, come here. And then And I went over there, and I was right in front. I still remember him. I mean, him telling me that. He goes, the same way I worked to be where I'm at, that's what you're going to do. You see, and with that being said, I said, okay, well, I got to learn on my own. That's how I got it. Like, he learned on his own. I have to learn on my own. So so I started learning. I went into mariachi. I had to learn, sing, how to sing and do this, do that, or whatnot. And then I started learning how to play drums. So that was my first instrument that I learned, that I started playing. And I could go on, and I started playing with friends of his as well, all Highway 90 West, trying to make some money. That's all. And I love music all the time. You know what I mean?
But when you were home, what were your childhood memories like? Did Dad just sit around with the accordion practicing all day? Or did he put that to the side and family time was separate from work?
That was he was, because he used to promote himself. He used to get his own work by himself. No, he had nobody. I still remember every evening, he had a calendar, right? And then making calls, and he was, calendar. I wonder still this day what happened to those calendars. But I remember he would write the dates on the calendar and how much the gig was for and all that. And I was right there next to him because I was estaba chiquito, you know what I mean? And right there in the bed, because he would just lean back and start doing his work.
Because that was y'all's bread and butter. Did you ever feel the pressure of being the son of Flaco Jimenez, and that if you became a musician, you'd have to meet up to that standard?
Actually, no, because I was trying to work in my mind. I wanted to work myself to where I wanted to get. You know what I mean? With being a self-taught musician and learning and everything on your own, it's hard. But I mean, but if it's in you, like they always tell me, man, this ran in your blood. You know what I mean? And then in junior high, I was involving myself with talent shows and getting first place. Competing with all these schools and everything. So that's when I said, you know what? I think this is for me. So I went on.
But then you shifted into songwriting. You're not playing instruments.
I didn't
right
even
now,
know.
right?
I didn't even know I had to. You see, I didn't even know too much about myself. I had to like study myself. Like, you know what? Let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try this.
And your dad let you. He didn't get
Oh
in
yeah,
the way.
he didn't get in my way. He was letting me do he was just listening and seeing what I was doing, but he wouldn't tell me nothing.
Looking back, what do you think about that? That he left you alone and let you decide your future?
Well, to be honest, to this day, I appreciate that to the fullest. And before he left, right, we had a long talk. Yeah. Yeah. Concerning my career. But it was good though. It was good advice. It was good advice. I got to record with him a song that I wrote, and the ideas that I wanted to do and everything. And as soon as I presented it to him, he loved it. He goes, "When do you want to do it?" And we went and recorded together. So that was my last memories with him in the studio, and we were going to keep working, but it didn't happen. Didn't happen. But I know he's happy.
It's tough losing a parent. Pain never goes away.
Yeah. I try, but I'm good. I mean, I bet 9 months he's been gone. It hasn't been easy because I started getting calls left and right. Because they knew that I was the only one of his sons on my own, with my own style. So I got approached in different ways. So for the legacy to continue, you know what I mean. And that's one thing I did promise him. I did promise him that I was gonna make sure his name wasn't gonna go down. He did say, and he even said it. He even said it in his own words that please, I believe, because me and my brother, the other one, my baby brother, Turi, he told him just that he was afraid that his name was going to go down. You know what I mean?
He said that.
Yeah.
He was afraid that his name would be
Yeah,
forgotten.
he was going to be forgotten, you know.
Wow.
And then Turi, and I remember Turi was the story that my brother told me. He goes, no, that this ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I remember me personally, I told him one time, and I told him what I was going to do, and I promise. And all he said was, mijo, you know what to do? My blessings to you. And that's all he said. You know what to do.
I'm so glad we're talking today because I do remember our first phone call not long ago to arrange this interview, and you said, I just want to honor my father and remember him the right way. Yeah. And I want the world to know that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. And they've like I said, the last time I did the Conjunto Festival, it was maybe about 8 years ago. But I still feel good, Sarah. Don't get me wrong. But it's a different feeling because I'm gonna be walking the steps where he walked and walk up the stage and play with the band that he loved to play with. That's why a lot of people they say, how come you didn't follow your dad's coattails, right? And in the first place, my words are, and it always, this happens all the time on my interviews, because I'll never be a Flaco Jimenez. I'm not here to fit in those shoes of that man. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a Flaco. I'll never be a Flaco Jimenez. And I even told my dad, I want to be me. I don't want to pick the respect or even care or even use his name or nothing like that.
And he supported that.
Yeah.
Right? From what you said. I mean, he didn't want you living in his shadow. He wanted you to be your own man.
Exactly. And that's what I've been doing, But it's a good question, and a bit if they see it like, well, why not? How come in the first place I don't want to even sound like Flaco? That's just it. If I'm gonna learn with my style, whatnot, I'm gonna, like he told me when I was a kid, you're gonna have to work yourself up. I guess that right there, what he told me was one that stayed in my mind, and that's what I started building myself up, learning a lot, learning about here and there, how this and that, whatnot.
Did you pick up the accordion and try to play though, and you didn't feel it?
I
You didn't click with it?
I did pick it up one time, but I guess you really gotta love the instrument, for you to really wanna. And me seeing him growing up, right, all my life with the accordion. I don't know. That's a good question. I just didn't feel. I can't say it wasn't for me. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question. The last CD that he titled "Past and Present," that when he called me up to the studio, like I was telling you, when he was like pushed. I can't say that he pushed Tejano aside. He didn't really know how to tell me, but he finally told me. He goes, look, I got these songs that he opened up like a golden vault. And in there was what's in there, Sarah, was all my grandfather's songs, Don Santiago Jimenez songs, old songs.
That's treasure right there.
Yeah. And then I was just listening to him like, what is he trying to say? Like I go, those songs can't fit into Tejano. I mean, I could somehow convert them into Tejano, but those are grandpiece, those are conjunto songs, So he goes, look, he said, there's this one, there's this one, there's this one, there's this one. Están muy buenas, mijo. But he already knew what he was trying to tell me. And then I said, okay, then, ¿quiere que grabe estas? You want me to record these? I'll record them. So I put my project aside and came into it. Conjunto Tex-Mex, because that's what he really wanted.
So you recorded your grandfather's songs that he gave you.
Yes.
And that's what he wanted to pass on to you.
Yes.
And that was just 5 years ago.
Yeah, about 6 years, 6 years ago. Yeah. And then, okay, so I recorded them. I ran them through with him. My style, of course. They don't sound exactly, because I have a different style when I, my produce and stuff and all that. I wanted to make my style, Gill style. You know what I mean? But they're my grandfather's songs. But it's conjunto, Tex-Mex. Nah, but I did it into conjunto Tex-Mex. And then when I was done, he ran through it and everything. He approved it. He was the last approval. Sometimes he would tell me, "Okay, Dad." Sometimes I would bring him the master, and he would listen to it. But he see what my dad had. He was real. He would listen to every single note, every single instrument. If he didn't like this, if this is lacking or whatnot. Or one time he sent me back to the studio for a pronunciation of a word of the song.
He was a perfectionist.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word. That's the word. He was a perfectionist.
But that's how you become a legend.
Yeah, he was.
You have to be a
yes, he was a
perfectionist.
perfectionist. I could honestly say that. And so when we were done, to make a long story short, when we were done, I go, "Okay, Dad. So now we got to title it." So I remember it was a Saturday morning. I went over to the house and to invite him for breakfast. I said, "Dad, where do you want to go to breakfast?" He liked to go to IHOP. So we went to IHOP, and then we were
Which IHOP? Because people are going to want to know.
Military Drive.
Military Drive.
Yeah,
Okay.
Southwest Military Drive. So we went there, and then we were talking and kicking the title around, right? And then and he's the one that he even titled that CD. He even titled it because he goes, "Okay, this is how it sounded in the past, like my grandfather's style. Now this is how it sounds now, your style." So he said, "You know what? We'll name it Past and Present." That was it. He goes,
Past and present. Then that became the name of this.
yeah, that was the name of the.
Growing up in the music industry, that was difficult for you as a child, you think?
It was difficult in the sense that I wanted to involve myself more with him, because I think I needed to, but I didn't have that opportunity. You know what I mean? But growing up with him, it was fun. You know what I mean? I still remember all the good times we had together and everything.
What was the best thing about him? Your best memories?
The best memories with him was when I finally got on stage with him, playing drums, going fishing, flying kites, laughing, joking. He was a character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my dad was a character.
Was he a jokester?
Yes, he was. And that's where I get it from. Because, I mean, like they say, they see me, you can't even.
You have a big personality. I couldn't wait to meet you because just from the phone, I was like, I can't wait to meet this guy. He has a big personality, that's for sure. So, are you a lot like your dad?
Yes,
He was a big personality like that.
Yes, he was. He loved. He was amazing. He liked to have fun. But of course, there were times where we had to be different a little bit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Was he pretty strict?
But in him, my real dad, he was a character, and he just loved to be himself. He wasn't just because he's Flaco Jimenez, and to people he's a big. To him, he didn't feel that way.
You never felt that at home at all. He was just dad, just another dad.
It was just dad.
Was he pretty strict with you guys at all?
No, not much. Not really. Mm-hmm. The one that was a little strict was Mom. Mom was the one, yeah. And I love my mom, but we come from a good family.
Well, one of the parents always has to be the more, the strict one.
Of
I mean,
course.
the discipline has to be somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they balance each other out.
Exactly. Yeah. But
do you remember his transformation? And when you started to see a big transformation in your father?
Yes, I remember when we used to live on San Joaquin, the street right down the west side. And I still remember the first artist that approached him, that drove up that day. It was Doug's son, one of the Texas Tornadoes. And my dad wasn't expecting him, though. Well, he knew he was coming, but and not expecting what he was going to put on the table for my dad. So when Doug got to the house, I still remember he had a big car. I was playing outside, so I went inside. They were discussing the style of what they wanted to do together. So once he went into that that change, that's when my dad blew up.
It was with the Texas tornadoes.
Yeah, the Texas.
Was that in the 90s, would you say?
I think so. Yeah,
Right? Like
I
that
think
was
it
at the
in-
height of his career.
Yes, it was in the 90s. Yeah, so that's when really, and he even said it. Once I involved myself with the bolillos, Anglo or whatnot, right? Everything just blew up on with him. Everybody started, coming at him and for projects and stuff and throwing them everywhere. You know what I mean? But at the time, he was just a conjunto band playing around Texas. Festivals, not touring as much as his first tour started. Heavy tours started when he did that change. You know what I mean? And that mixed it with that Tex-Mex.
Do you remember when Bob Dylan reached out to him, when Linda Ronstadt reached out to him, or when any of those legends?
Linda Ronstadt I remember, but Bob Dylan, it was later that I found out. I remember I was there when I think my brother was there as well, when the Rolling Stones called to the house, and that what they wanted to do. And
So you guys were just sitting around and
yeah,
they
we were
got
just,
a phone
we were
call.
just there sitting around. It was a phone call.
And it was a Rolling Stones.
Yeah, it was a phone call, and then they told him that if he was interested in a recording session, with them, my dad said, well, he was like, send me what you got.
Now, you mentioned you did meet Dwight Yoakam.
Yes, I did.
How did that meeting happen when he first got the call? Walk me through all those beautiful memories that you have. You have so many incredible memories. Most people will never get a chance to experience anything like you did, being the son of Flaco Jimenez.
Yeah, I remember me and my brother had gone to that event. It was downtown. I can't recall the name. It's been so long.
And it was here in San Antonio?
It was here in
Okay.
San Antonio, and so not knowing who really Dwight was, but I know he was a famous country singer.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember they had a big table. I still remember big tables of snacks, real high class food and everything.
You had the VIP seats, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So and he came around, behind the curtain and stuff. We met him and stuff. And it was a good feeling.
But to you at the time, it was just like, that's Dad's coworker.
Yeah,
That was it.
I mean,
Like, you
not
weren't
knowing.
greatly
Yeah, exactly. Not knowing who
impressed.
he really was.
Was there anybody that your father worked with that got you really excited?
The Rolling Stones. Yeah, that was one that I go down. I'm over here because I was into rock and roll, and I'm over here. How is that gonna record with the Rolling Stones? If the Rolling Stones is a rock band, it's a rock and roll band out there from.
Was that your father's favorite song in collaboration?
No, he had several of them. He and Willie Nelson. That was his buddy. Alan Jackson, también. So he put a good dent with all these major artists.
Did you say, take me with you, I want to meet the Rolling Stones?
You see, at times I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to involve myself more, but me doing my own thing.
Yeah, but even then you held back. Even as much as you thought that was really cool,
Right.
you still
Yeah,
held back.
I remember what that day at the Conjunto Festival. What was it? Maybe, like I said, 8 years ago, maybe. Here in Rosedale, the one I'm doing this year. My name was already out there. It came out in the San Antonio Express News. Flaco's son strikes out on his own. This one time I asked him, well, Dad, man, you have recorded with all these artists. Who's the one that you want to record with next, right? Who would you like to record with next? He goes, if I had a chance, if Elvis was still alive, I would record with Elvis. But guess what? It so happens, I don't know how it went about, but he ended up recording with Elvis band members.
Oh, wow.
The original.
He got as close as it gets.
Yeah,
wow.
he got close.
So he was a big Elvis fan.
Yes. He got real close to that. Yeah, you're right.
Was that his favorite artist growing up?
Elvis Presley was one. He had several one.
And of all the ones he performed with, who was his favorite to perform with?
He really, Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson was the one, and out of all of them, Willie would call him up. They would contact each other. But yeah, that was.
So they
fun.
were friends.
They were friends, and Alan as well.
Alan Jackson
Yeah.
was his friend as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
When history remembers Flaco Jimenez, what do you want to make sure that they get right?
He was a true humble man, just a true humble man, an artist, an icon. That's all he was. But now, when he opened up more with me, I started listening to him telling me, "Mijo, I love you." And then I would just sometimes I would go outside and cry, but and then kiss him in his forehead and tell him that I love you too. And I never thought I would do that. Because of the respect. Maybe he felt like better open up with him. Be the real me with him.
Were you with him before he passed?
I was recording. As a matter of fact, I was negotiating. I was at the studio when I received a call. And then I told my sister, I go, "Hey, let me call you back because I'm in a meeting right now." They go, "No. I go, what happened? I think that's leaving already." Oh my God.
Was he home?
He was at my brother's. He was at my brother's house. And I just told everybody there, "Hey, I gotta go. So I took off on the highway, just all nervous and stuff. And right there when I got there, I ran to where my dad's room. Everybody was there. I got there and he had barely took his last breath. Just when I got there, he was still warm. His mouth was open. And I just hugged him. Told him that I loved him and that I was going to keep a promise. And that was it. Just right there when I got there.
If he was sitting right now here with us, listening to this conversation, what do you think he would want the world to know?
He would always say, this was his words, all I want for everyone just to remember me as a friend. That was his words. As a friend.
He was just everybody's friend?
I just wanted everybody to know and be known as your friend.
So music was his heart and soul.
That's all it was.
Is that what it is for you as well?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I had unplugged myself a while back for certain reasons, but I felt that it was time for me to come back. When I recorded Past and Present, I said, okay, this is it. Yeah, when he really said, you know what, I'm going to be there. Let's do this. If you're going to do it, let's do this.
When you say respect, I guess when I think of my parents, I don't think it's disrespectful to ask him for help. So when you say respect, is it you're afraid to offend him, or is it you were trying to just prove yourself as an independent young man by yourself without, carrying your dad's name? What do you mean by out of respect?
The respect because I guess throughout my life, me doing this by myself, those words that he told me, the same way I did it on my own, you're gonna do it on your own. I took it like, you know what? You're on your own. You want this career? You're gonna do it. If I did it, you're gonna do it.
Because you knew the only way to success is hard work and learning
Exactly.
your own failures
Exactly.
that bring you to success.
Exactly. So to me, that's a respect. He created his style. His name blew up. All over the world. Sweat, tears, and you name it. Why am I gonna come in and try and be him after he sweated his own. If he sweated his own, well, guess what? I gotta do it myself.
What's the name of your band?
Well, I got the one we have is Texas Cat 5. It's like the Texas tornado, but Cat 5 is like a category.
A Category 5?
Yeah.
You spun off of the Texas
Yeah,
Tornadoes?
yeah.
How did that name ever come about, the Texas Tornadoes, and then now, because...
Well, actually, the Texas Tornado, it was Doug Song's name. That was his name before. He was a Texas Tornado. So you see, when the band got together, they already had that name. You know, so it was Doug's name.
So your dad performed with the Texas Tornadoes, and then after that with the Tex Maniacs?
Then he went on. Yeah, he had his own conjunto, you know. But at the same time, yeah, you know, he just said, you know what, I don't want to go through so much headaches anymore. So that's when Max Baca came in, great guy, you know, and then they started playing together. So it was easier for my dad. So when the Tex Maniacs started working with Flaco, you know, so they went all over también. They went toured. They did a lot. My dad loved playing with them.
Gil, thank
Sarah,
you.
thank you so much.
I know it was a difficult conversation, but thank you
It
for
was.
being here and opening up. I know.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you.